Welcome to the second video of defensive stats in Throne and Liberty. As I was expecting, the first one was going to be very controversial because many people fail to understand something. And this is only my opinion. What I shared in the previous video and in this one, it's only my opinion. You may have a different opinion, and that's great. But for me, in that video, which was about endurance, endurance is a dead stat. It doesn't have any use for me. So, if endurance doesn't have any use for me, what's the best stat? The best defensive stat for me is evasion. Why? Because evasion in this game is designed in a way where if you have high enough evasion, you do everything. You avoid regular hits, you avoid skill hits, you avoid CCs, you avoid everything. And this is actually a crazy implementation. It makes sense from the point of view that if you don't get hit, you should not get a CC. But it is a very crazy way of implementing that. Normally, you either avoid regular hits or avoid skill hits, but rarely, and I will practically say never, avoid CC skills. For that you have CC resistant stats. So that's why evasion is basically the best defensive stat in the game. However, we have some, let's say, issues with evasion. With the introduction of directional attacks, we started to see that some evasion builds was no longer viable. Why? Because while some classes didn't benefit much from directional hits, others, like the dagger, got a huge boost. So we started to see a decrease in the efficiency of evasion. And then the introduction of the heroic items even pushed this further. As I announced like a month and a half ago, let me check. Yes, more or less a month and a half ago, I said, has evasion become a luxury stat? And in this video, I explain my reasoning for that. But as a quick summary, basically what we have is that we used to have about 1.52k hit, more or less. Yes, some people had more. Yes, user has over 3k. I don't care about the grid sword, okay? I don't care. That's only a weapon. I don't care about evading that weapon. I care about the other 7 weapons in the game. So basically what we had is like, let's say we had this range of hit from 1.5 to 2.5. Usually if you had like 2k base evasion, this was not doing anything as a baseline, let's say. But if you use a crossbow or you use a dagger, you boost this even more. So in the case of the crossbow, during combat you usually have around 900 more. So this is this number, and this number. So what can we see here? What we can see is that for the case in which hit is between 1.5 and 2k, a little more actually, because maybe 2.2, yes, 2.2 as well, we have enough evasion. For me, enough evasion, like I say on the endurance video, for me the enough number is that if I have a 40% chance of evading an attack. In the case of endurance was if I have a 40% chance of provoking a glancing blow. So for these cases, I'm still good, but not here. The problem is that with the heroic items, we are leaning more toward this area. Not really to 2.5. Some people will build more, some people will build less, but we are leaning more towards this than toward this. Why? Because we may have double hit on weapons that no one is doing, but we can. We can have hit on the cape, we can have double hit in the glove, that again no one is doing, but they could. So just the combination of all of that items, let's say, may lead to, let's say, the average hit increase to more like 2.5 and less than 2. So what's the problem here? The problem is that, as I say, just with crossbow, we don't have enough evasion if our base evasion is 2k. If we add the 700 from the dagger, when we roll, this becomes different. We have a 51% chance of evasion. That's why in this video I say that only Scorpion was going to be the only viable class if we wanted to play full evasion. Okay? But look at me in game. I have 2k and I'm doing kind of good. Yes, I'm detecting issues sometimes, but still I'm tanking a lot of damage. So is evasion a luxury stat or not? In my opinion, this is still kind of usable, okay? Because as I was showing here, with this extra 900, we still can fight up to 2.2, okay? And as I said, not a lot of people are building a lot of hit. There is a probability that they could, but it doesn't seem the general case, okay? And remember that everything I post, all my videos, all the content I do is for the everyday player, not for the hardcore try hard, not for the competitive guys. It's for the everyday player. Those who join Dominion, those who participate in Boomstone, in Rifton, in Siege, whatever. But that don't try to be the number one in the game, okay? So for that kind of people, still 2k evasion may be good. However, I think a safer bet will be to try to push this number a little more, okay? More to this area, let's say, because in this area we still get enough evasion here and even more here. That means that I will try to boost these numbers to 2.2 and 2.3. And if I can't, because I have really been I've been playing with Questlog and haven't found anything that convinced me, because yes, I could boost this a lot. In fact, I could have like 2k evasion, 2k range and 2.4 magic or something like that, but at the expense of reducing my bonus damage. And I don't want that, because this is my main source of damage. So if I don't manage to boost these numbers a little more, what's the next step? The next step is pick your poison. What classes or what type of damage is more likely to kill you? And in my case, it's magic evasion, because we have more magic users than range users. A Scorpion is going to kill me anyway, so I don't care about the range evasion. The bow actually is a very strong DPS weapon, but people in Reddit say otherwise. Okay, good for them. What we are seeing in game is that there are some classes with using the bow as the main weapon that are doing a shit ton of damage. So yes, that's the problem. We have two good classes to deal with, but for now I'm going to boost more my evasion and less my range evasion if I fail to boost both numbers at the same time. And what happens with melee evasion? People say, if you don't have 4k melee evasion, fuck it. If you don't have 5k melee evasion, fuck it. Ignore them, because the average player is not using that much hit. As I was saying, yes, users will have over 3k hit. I don't care about GS users. I care about the Spellblades, the Scorpions, the Shadow Dancers, every DPS player that doesn't have a great store. And if you just boost this number to 2k, it's already good enough to deal with most of these cases, these classes. Why? Because usually what they do is to boost either range hit or magic hit. Only in the case of Shadow Dancers, they will boost melee hit. But here's the plot twist. They are not doing that. They are doing melee crit. They are building a lot of crit. So basically, if you have just 2k melee evasion, and I'm not kidding, I just play, not today, yesterday, a Dominion in which I changed my build to this, like right away. I mean, in the middle of the Dominion, I did this, and I replaced the runes. Okay, basically all this in the middle of a Dominion fight. Evasion, melee evasion. This doesn't have, if I recall correctly, no. Melee evasion and melee evasion, and the earrings doesn't have. And this number 1.8 was already showing a big difference. Okay, I was seeing a lot of miss from the classes I was talking about. So here you have it. As a number as low as 1.8 is already showing some difference. The problem with this is what I was saying earlier. If I do this, look at my bonus damage. It's over 60 less. And that's a lot. That's a lot because I do a lot of hits. So this is for this video. Thanks for watching. Remember, do your own research. Try to make your own builds and just play the way you want, not as Reddit tell you, because most of the time they are not playing like you. They are in a different league, let's say. They are doing a different game. So if you are an everyday player, just follow your instincts and not what other people, including myself in this video, tell you. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching.